Now, welcome back. Now, the first step is decide on the hypothesis. For example, we are investigating about the 13-year-old girls in year 9. So our hypothesis can be, for example, 13-year-old girls on average are taller than boys. So this is an assumption you can make, that 13-year-old girls are taller than boys. Then when it comes now to investigation, you go to year 9, you look at the 13-year girls, you look at the 13-year boys, then you start measure, okay, comparing the ages. Then you find that this statement can either be true or it can be false. This is an hypothesis test. Now, decide on the questions, on the question or questions to ask. Now, which questions are you going to ask these people while you are doing the investigation? You can ask them, are you a 13-year-old? Are you a boy or a girl? Even though this is something which is can be seen, but then this is some question. How tall are you? So from that tallness, then we can determine whether the 13-year-old are taller, the 13-year-old girls are taller than 13-year-old boys. The next step, which is number 3, decide what data to collect. For example, the height of 13-year-old girls and also the height of 13-year-old boys, so that you can make comparison. Next, decide how to collect data. For example, you can carry out the survey of students in year 9. Then let the year 9 student fill questionnaire. That's another thing. Questionnaire is just simply as a group of questions that are yet to be filled by a person called the respondent. So the year 9 student become the respondent, whereby they are going to fill their ages, they are going to fill their heights, and they are going to fill their gender, the male or female. Decide how big the sample size will be. Now, if the sample, if we have numbers like 20, then that's a sample you can deal with, you can approach it as a regular individual. But where a sample is as big as maybe 1,500, 1,000, and you're just one person, it will take a long time, it will be tedious, that kind of data is likely to be messed up. So you can decide to work with averagely 10% of the number, then there can get your data and you are representative. Decide how accurate the data needs to be. And when we talk about deciding how accurate a data needs to be, you can measure it to the nearest smallest unit of that particular. For example, meters, we have centimeters, we have millimeters, we have micrometer. Now, in this case, the height of the student, we can decide it to be to the nearest centimeters, because we can take it in feet, we can take it in meters. Now we can take it to the nearest centimeter. That one is the most accurate. Now, we have work example. Aiden lives in the UK. He is investigating which month of the year is the coldest. Right there, an hypothesis for his investigation. Now, we can take December, November, and October, maybe to be some of the coldest months. But then again, if you pick any of those 3, then you find that any of those 3 can be what we call the coldest. Now, but now he has decided to pick on December, which is the coldest month, then that one can be either true hypothesis or wrong one. But then again, depends. We are yet to prove, because it's just an hypothesis. Now, example 2. Fran is investigating who is healthier between the males and female in her village. Write down example of each 6 steps suggested above. We are talking about the 6 steps which are already mentioned up there. Then the hypothesis, male are healthier than female. So according to Fran, our hypothesis is that males are healthier than female. But then again, this is just an hypothesis which is yet to be proven. Then what are the questions Frank is likely to ask? Are you a male or a female? What is your height? How much do you weigh? How many hours of exercise do you do in a week? So these are some of the questions Frank can decide to ask the respondent. Then from there, she can get the answer she wants. Now, she can decide on what data to collect. And the data to collect here can be height and mass of the adults, so that body mass index can be calculated, amount of exercise that do, so that comparison can be done. So then the next one is method of collection. This one, questionnaire is one of them. You can be given questionnaire, then they can fill questionnaire. Or another one, they can be asked direct questions. Because some of the people might be embarrassed to answer some of the questions. So questionnaire stands out to be the best. But if somebody, a respondent, is able to answer the question truthfully, then it's good to go. Now, sample size. Suppose that there are 380 adults that you are supposed to investigate. Going to each and every one of these one could be cumbersome, especially when you are just one. And by the time you are done, maybe some of them shall have shifted to another location so that you might not get the entire data. In other words, what you are trying to allocate for here, you are going to go for what we call sampling. And by sampling, you are going to take just 10% of this population, of which 10% of these adults we are supposed to investigate will be 38 adults. And in these 38 adults, to be gender sensitive, then you'll have to take 19 males and 19 females, then you investigate these people, and after that, then you can have your sample. Then it's going to be a representative of what you are yet to work with. So that is exactly what we talk about when we talk about sample size. Then accuracy of the data. How accurate do you want your data to be? Your data, the masses can be measured to the nearest kilograms. Being that human beings are measured, their weight is measured in kilograms, it will be something ridiculous to start having the measurement accuracy next to the grams, which is way too low, or maybe you start taking it to tons, which is way too high. So the best measurement to have for the masses is kilogram. Then height to be measured to the nearest centimeters. Then hours of exercise to be measured to the nearest half an hour. Now, what other factors could she consider? Now, she could consider to collect data on diet, age, blood pressure, cholesterol levels, family history of illness. Write down some of the problems she might face in collecting her data. Now, looking at the part B, she could collect data on diet. Some people do not find it okay to talk about their data because they feel like you might want them to do, you might feel that they are eating a lot. Then some will not want to talk about their age because they might be looking older than their age. Some will be looking younger than their age. Some just do not like about it. Blood pressure, this is a private issue. Some will not even want to talk about cholesterol level or some other things. Family history of illness. Some people will be feeling like we're trying to invade their privacy. So you find that this person is going to have a problem in getting this kind of information. You also want to know how many people go hungry in Madhare's lab. Write down an example of each of the 6 steps suggested above. Hypothesis: more than 40% of slum dwellers have nothing to eat the whole day. Now, this is just an hypothesis, more than 40%. That means that a major number of people living in slum have got nothing to eat, but it's just an hypothesis. Question: how often do you eat? How much do you spend daily on food? What is the source of your income? How much do you earn per month? How big is your family? So these are some of the questions you might decide to ask while investigating this kind of data to collect. Number of meals consumed a day, how often they eat, and now. So these are the collection methods accuracy of data, everything is there. So go to your homework here. Go to your homework here. And do that. And now that brings us to the end of this lesson. Thank you.